let's dive into the marijuana issue.
It's a plant put into nature by God for us, and it works. There's not a problem with it. I take a gummy every single night, and I fly to bed like this.
Florida's Fourth Estate with hosts Ginger Gadsden and Matt Austin. The show where we bring Florida into focus.
Welcome to another edition of Florida's Fourth Estate. We are honored to have you with us. We have a big guest, friend of the show in studio. This guy, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to start off focusing on an amendment on your ballot that probably wouldn't be there if he were not around. I'm Matt Austin, by the way.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. Of course, the man who needs no introduction, we are going to introduce, is attorney John Morgan. John, thank you so much for being here. It is fantastic to finally get you. We've been trying for a while, but thank you for coming. And we have a lot of ground to cover. We're going to get right to it. But we do want to start by saying we know that you suffered a great loss over the summer of your brother, Tim, and we are so sorry about that. I watched your eulogy of him.
Oh, man. That got
It was
both of
amazing.
us.
I don't know how you got through it.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
Not good. I mean, I probably cried every day for a month. And when I think about him, it's still bad.
Yeah, still get you. Well, we know just from talking to you in the past how much he inspired your career, you becoming a lawyer, and you taking on this whole marijuana issue. And so let's dive into the marijuana issue because it's on the ballots. It started off pot daddy. Everybody calls you.
You're everybody's pot daddy.
You are. And so you came through, you got medical marijuana. Now you're pushing for recreational in the state of Florida. Why do you want this? Why is now the time?
Well, there's a lot of things I want, and what I know is that Tallahassee is broken for us. They made it harder to make it a constitutional amendment because they don't want us to have any say in what we want. They want to do what the very richest top corporations want. We would not have felons' right to vote had not there been a constitutional amendment. We would not have medical marijuana had there not been a constitutional.
Thank you.
We would not have the minimum wage raised from $8 an hour to $15 but for my constitutional amendment.
Thank you.
Because these big companies don't want that. So we have to do this, and it's the purest form of democracy to give us what the people want, not what a few special interests want. So what drives me, I look at all this, what I call is political philanthropy. Me raising the minimum wage, what does that mean to all these people? It's money I could never have made in my lifetime. I mean, I could never have done this. Bill Gates couldn't have done it with all the money he had. Medical marijuana, 1 million people are registered to get a card. So when I look at marijuana, what do I look at? I look at, number one, the history of ruined lives, careers ruined, just college, getting into grad school, getting into service. Why? Because you smoke marijuana. It's disproportionately discriminates against people of color and the poor. Because I was partners with Johnny Cocker once. He used to say the color of justice in America is green. And it is. Rich kids don't go to jail. Poor kids do. That's a big driver for me. And the final thing is, look, there's not a problem with it. I take a gummy every single night, and I fly to bed like this, like this. And then I lay down, and, sometimes there's like pink dinosaurs I'm flying on as I fall off to sleep.
What kind of gummies are these?
Well, I can't talk about that.
That's what I was going to say.
I got the Miami boys bringing that but there's nothing wrong with it. And everything about it has all been a lie. Look, it was a plant put into nature by God for us, and it works. There's no domestic violence with marijuana. There's a lot of domestic violence with wild turkey and tequila and MD 2020 and everything else. So there is no good reason. It's like gay marriage. I mean, it's like they were having unions and then all of a sudden one day, gay marriage is alive. And guess what?
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. All those people that were worried about it, nothing happened. What I say to these people like Ron DeSantis, stay out of our lives.
So, but talk a little bit about, we're talking about Amendment 3 specifically. Yes. What will it do and what will it not do? Because a lot of people think that, oh, if this passes, I'll be able to just grow whatever I want in my backyard.
No, you won't. But one of the things that, believe it or not, DeSantis is saying is people can't grow in their backyard because there's a lot of home grow people who are pissed about this.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm pissed for them. They should be allowed to grow it in their backyard next to their tomatoes. But it's not going to ever happen because even though Ron DeSantis is saying they should, then pass it. Go to the legislature and pass it. It's not going to happen. What you have to really remember, what this is all about, the opposition, it's about money. A mortal threat to the alcohol business and to the pharmaceutical industry is marijuana. Why? It works. It works. All these people who are against it have a vested interest in being against it. Ken Griffin, who gave the $7 million on this deal, the big hedge fund guy, he just bought a boatload of Pfizer stock this week. Oh. How much pharmaceutical do you think he has? How much alcohol stocks do you think he has? And I don't blame him for what he's doing. He's a businessman. He's trying to block the competition. Marijuana is as dangerous to the pharmaceutical and liquor industry as Monjourno is to the sugar industry. Monjourno is like, you want some sugar? You don't want to drink. I mean, that Monjourno has made everybody allergic to sugar.
I could use that in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
well, I just wanted to touch on, because you said a lot of it's about money. What DeSantis is, all of it is about money. What DeSantis says is that's in the reverse. He says a few big marijuana companies who are footing the bill for this and got their foot in the door in Florida with medical marijuana are now going to make all the money on recreational marijuana. And that's what he says is the knock on this amendment.
And it's BS. First of all, there are 25 licenses already. He has 22 in his pocket. All he has to do tomorrow is allow the other 22 to come on into the business. Now you'd have 50. And then I'd ask DeSantis this: how many pharmacies are there in Florida? CVS, Walgreens, and Publix. Name another one. Go ahead.
I'm trying. Yeah, they closed them all down.
Go ahead.
It used to be Rite Aid.
Well, listen, if you see a Rite Aid, you're in a slum. If you see a Rite Aid, run.
Get out of there.
Run. You're getting ready to be mugged.
I haven't seen one in a very long time.
It'll be right next to a dollar store.
Yeah.
Well, those are everywhere.
Well, they are everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, they talk about monopolies. The whole country is a monopoly. One time we couldn't get baby formula, remember? Because there's only 2 companies that make baby formula. Remember that last year?
I remember.
Where's the baby formula? So that's BS, but it's a distraction, and it's really just a lie because he knows we all hate monopolies. But listen, capitalism stands for the proposition that the strong survive and the weak perish, and I'm good with that. Just do a good job. True Leave has done a good job. Kim Rivers is a bad and I like bad and she's a disruptor, and I like disruptors. But I don't like it when they're trying to rig the system to fight against her by saying, there's monopolies. They're not a monopoly. There's 25, 22 he can release. And if he wants more, let them be 1,000 and let people grow at home. The three groups that do not want this to pass: pharmaceutical industry, liquor industry, and the Mexican cartel.
And you're saying that the governor and other politicians have made it very hard to pass amendments now because you tend to need more votes for an amendment as opposed to...
You have to probably spend just to get it on the ballot. And that's a very dicey thing because the single subject rule, which I don't want to bore you with, but you got to just really navigate because the Supreme Court's got to say it does not violate the single subject rule. $50 million now. When I did it, it cost about $10 million for me to get my stuff on the ballot. But they've made it so because they do not want us, the people, to have a say in what we want, because the people that are funding them have special interests that are not in our best interest.
And we've seen them amendments pass and they undo some of this
Felons'
stuff.
rights.
Felons' rights.
Felons' rights.
Class sizes.
Listen, felons' rights. Now they're making all these people pay money.
Yeah.
I know. So what's the point of voting and having an amendment pass if you're just going to undo everything?
Well, look, they did to do it to me. I had to sue the state. When
They wouldn't let you smoke.
They
right?
wouldn't let you. We wouldn't let you smoke. So I'm like, hey, man, I know how to sue, and
We know that.
and I sued the state. And to DeSantis's credit, this is why I was hopeful for the guy. He came down here. We had a press conference, me and him together in one of these parks. Mm-hmm. And I said, what made you fold on this smoke suit? He goes, I read the language. It was unambiguous. And I thought, wow, I like this. Okay. This Harvard Yale guy's actually, but then he needed the Quan.
Well, the last time we talked to you, you seemed to be kind of coming over to the DeSantis side.
Listen, I was very high on him in the beginning, especially in light of what he said to me in the park. I read the language, your language, my language. It was unambiguous.
All right. So when did it take a turn?
When he ran for president and needed $100 million. And then and there's only a few people that have that $100 million. That's special interest: pharmaceutical, liquor, hedge fund, builders. You know, so that's how they all are.
It's hard to find a politician.
Yeah, I'm not.
wrapped up
I
in all
can't
this.
say that I'm disgusted with DeSantis over that because it works both ways.
But that's how the system is designed.
I know, and that's why I said F the system. I went around the system, and I did my constitutional amendments. We're in an election now where I believe 75% of the people who vote will hold their nose when they go in to vote. Joe didn't want to go. Joe's still pissed that he's gone. Joe is pissed, and I'll show you on my phone. I talked to her yesterday for an hour and a half. Joe's pissed at Nancy Pelosi. He saw her as the reason. And Joe said, you know what? I don't think Nancy Pelosi wants Harris. So guess what? Here you go.